ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this comes as any surprise. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Sensitive Media. And today we're recapping tonight's game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets as the Phillies lose 8-6 to the Mets as they drop the first game of this three-game series. This doesn't really come as much of a surprise to me. A bad Bryson Stott error kind of set the tone to start this ball game. Now, guys, before getting into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please share, engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. This video is also brought to you by All Things Phillies. All Things Phillies provides a daily video of highlights from the game, so please go and subscribe to his channel, link in the description section. I tell you what, man, this Phillies team is just a joke, right? We have an opener tonight. I mean, Bailey Falter, honestly, I mean, you go take a look at the line, not the best, but you know, some of his stuff was working. I mean, honestly, the fastball wasn't the worst thing in the world, and there was some uncertainty to start this ball game if he was going to be even eligible because he wasn't on the roster. And of course, Jose Alvarado was sent down to AAA. Jose Alvarado optioned to AAA. So some people are not happy about it. I love it. I love it. I mean, despite the loss today, that was great news. Can we all admit that? I mean, that was great news. Of course, George already said, oh, it wasn't personal. Because I don't lose anything bad on Jose Alvarado. I just don't like him as a pitcher. I mean, I just think he's just terrible. But I mean, that's a move that should have been done. That is a move that should have been done. He's just been not giving you the numbers that we need out there in the bullpen. The Phillies are pretty much, asserted themselves with this really just one good lefty in that bullpen and Brad Hand. Who got an appearance tonight. I tell you, that top of the first inning was disgraceful, and Pete Alonso continues to kill this Phillies team. Don't even get me started about the Bryson Stott. I've said like 3 times in the past 3 videos, why Johan Camargo? Where is Johan Camargo? Where is Johan Camargo? It's beyond comprehension. Why in the world we're continuing to see Bryson Stott out there? I just don't get it. It makes zero sense. There's no explanation for it. There's no explanation for it, at least not anything that I can think of. I'm sure George Girardi, of course, would have one for you. As we pick up the scoring summary here in the bottom of the first inning, Pete Alonso's a second base fly to right field the other way. Brandon Nimmo comes around to score, and it's 1-0 New York here in the bottom of the first inning. So some fundamental baseball for the Mets. That would be Alonso's first RBI tonight, and oh boy, he would not be done, unfortunately. And then we pick it up here in the same inning. Escobar has really struggled since putting on the orange and blue. He hits a sacrifice fly out to right field, and Starry Marte comes around to score, as the Mets now lead it 2-0. So another sac fly. I mean, more fundamental baseball for this Mets team, that's what you have to do. You have to, really take advantage when you have runners in scoring position. Something the Phillies don't do, right? The Phillies do not do that. Hopefully they can kind of take a page out of the Mets book right here and, really start capitalizing on fundamental baseball. Fundamental baseball. We had an opportunity, of course, later in the ball game there on the top of the 8th inning, and we did nothing. We'll get to this in a little bit. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Mark Canha singles on a ground ball up the middle. That sneaks in, and Francisco, overrated Lindor, comes around to score, and the Mets now lead it 3-0. The Mets have a nice, comfy 3-0 lead for Carlos Carrasco. They're wearing the black uniforms tonight, which they wear on every Friday night home game. Probably the most overrated uniforms in all baseball. I mean, they're just black uniforms that just say Mets on them. That's pretty much all they are. They're not anything special, that is for sure. I don't really understand what the whole buzz is about the whole Mets uniforms, the black uniforms. I think they just bring back nostalgia for the Met fans. Bring back nostalgia of 07. That's all I'm going to say there. Then we pick it up here in the bottom of the third inning. Pete Alonso homers on a fly ball to left field. A 2-run shutout to scores Lindor, and it's now a 5-0 Mets lead. So that was really just crushing right there. Alonso's 12th home run of the season. So what is it with him? I just don't understand. Of course, he does, hit the ball at the ballpark at, a pretty good, rate. But he just continues to kill this Phillies team. I mean, he murders this Phillies team. It's like really, really bad. I mean, he kills us. Down 5-0 here, and we're not really feeling too good, right? And I did predict we lose this game. I definitely like our chances next 2 games, but honestly, I mean, we could have won this game. You see, the final score 8-6. It was 7-6 at one point. Then we pick it up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Francisco Lindor singles on a sharp line drive to left field as he goes the other way as he's hitting from the left-hand side of the batter's box. I guess a blind squirrel does find a nut every once in a while. Yeah, Starting Marte comes around to score, and it's now a 6-0 Mets lead. So Francisco Lindor, who does not had any success, really since joining the New York Mets, averaged around 250. He really was horrible last year. He had a lot of injuries last year as well, and he's just been mediocre so far this year. Of course, he is a great defender, but he's nothing special offensively. He hasn't been any good offensively. It's like 2019. 2018 was really good for him, but he's not been that same player since. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. He does it again as Pete Alonso was on a sharp line drive the other way to right field. Francisco Lindor comes around to score, and it's now 7-0 New York. So tacking on another one, right? That's Alonso's 4th RBI in the game, and his 8th double of the season. He just continues to just decimate this Phillies team. It's just like, he just hits us so well. It doesn't matter who's out there on the mound, whether it's Bailey Falter or Nick Nelson. He kills Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola just doesn't really do that well against the Mets. So thank God we got to, avoid him pitching in this series. Alonso definitely likes to hit against Aaron Nola and this whole entire Phillies pitching staff. Then we pick it up here in the top of the 6th inning. Bryce Harper gets us on the board as he singles on a line drive to right field. Rhys Hoskins comes around to score, and the Phillies now get on the board, a 7-1 ball game. So Bryce collecting an RBI right there. That would be his only hit of the night, but he was the first guy to drive on the run for the Phillies in this ball game. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Nick Castellanos, who had a pretty good night tonight, he signals on a ground ball to right field the other way. Alec Bohm comes around to score as it's now a 7-2 ball game. Back-to-back singles by the Phils with Harper and Castellanos. And now we are just down by 5. So we're starting to chip away a little bit. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Gene Segura grounds at the third. And Bryce Harper comes around to score. And it's now a 7-3 ball game. So hey, you manufacture a run. So you ground out to allow Harper to score. So nice job right there by Gene Segura just to put the bat on the ball. He's starting to cool off a little bit, but you know what it is. This is a guy that very rarely ever strikes out. He puts the bat on the ball quite often. We've seen this a lot. He's Gene that machine. Makes a lot of contact with the baseball. So 7-3 ball game. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Garrett Stubbs, the backup catcher, homers on a fly ball to right field into Utley's corner. If you're not familiar with that, he could always turn out an inside pitch and drive it to right field, and he always would hit it out there in that section near the foul pole. That's why they named it Utley's corner. So he goes out in that section. Stubbs' corner. Am I right in the words of Jim Salisbury? Tweeted out Stubbs' corner. So a 3-run home run that scores Castellanos and Herrera. His second home run of the season, second of his career. So that was a huge pitch. He turned on that one, no question about it, from the left-hand side of the batter's box. It was a very satisfying swing. Turned on that one, and it is now a 7-6 ball game. So he has resurrected this game, right? The hopes were in the gutter. Now there's some belief. Hey, I think we can win. No question. Just down by 1. You see Buck Showalter's reaction. He's like, oh boy. Jason Shreve, lefty on lefty matchup, and the win goes to Garrett Stubbs. 3-run homer, 7-6 Mets. So we pick it up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Starting Marte grounds out the short, and Tomas Nido comes around to score, and the Mets now extend the lead, get the run back, now an 8-6 ball game. So another RBI ground out. It's funny, as I talked about, a lot of sac flies, a lot of RBI ground outs by this Mets team. Something you don't really see much out of the Phillies, as I mentioned before. And unfortunately, the Phillies would not score anymore, even though they didn't have a really big opportunity at the top of the 8th inning. Garrett Stubbs, I'm really glad he hit that 3-run homer, before, but unfortunately, he struck out, second and third, one out. And of course, JT Muto came in and did nothing. So 8-6 is your final scores. The Phillies lose the first game of this 3-game set. I am so tired of losing to this Mets team. They are just incredibly overrated. They've really not played one great team this year. They really haven't. Maybe you could argue the San Francisco Giants, but they haven't really played one team and think like, wow, that's a really good team. They haven't. They've had a cakewalk schedule. They've had an incredibly easy schedule. We have kind of had an easy schedule as well, but definitely not as easy as this one, especially recently. We've had a really tough schedule. So Rhys Hoskins collects one out of the leadoff spot, also draws a walk. So I've just been sitting around 224. Not much progress being made. There's not been much progress being made. It's incredibly disappointing. Outbum 2 knocks tonight. Also scoring one of the Phillies 6 runs. Average now climbs up to 290. OPS now sits at 727. And Bryce Harper, only one hit was a big one. The RBI single to get the Phillies on the board. So average now drops to 313, and OPS now sits at 971. Still having an MVP season. Nick Castellanos, 2 knocks tonight. The RBI single going the other way in the ground ball to right. Definitely a clutch hit there, and also scores one of the Phillies 6 runs. We need this guy to start heating up, and we really need this guy to start hitting the ball at the ballpark. I mean, as I mentioned before, needs to start hitting the home run. Do you think we will see that once the weather starts really heating up? As I mentioned before. The home runs definitely are lacking with Castellanos. No question about that. As he only has 5 home runs on the year. He does manage to have 24 RBIs, which is pretty good. For only hitting 5 home runs, 253 average. OPS now sits at 722. Kyle Schwarber really, cooling off. I mean, he had a, pretty big opportunity to, drive some runs in tonight, and he was unsuccessful. Didn't really get the best calls up there. But he needs to start swinging the bat more. He needs to stop hotting the ball up so much. I mean, yes, I understand he's a power hitter, but stop uppercutting so much. So I'm just waiting for this guy to get it going. He's going against his Met team. Now, he hits pretty well. Did nothing tonight. Despite drawing a walk, which is pretty nice to see. Gene Segura goes hitless, but he did a great job in that RBI ground out to manufacture a run right there in that top of the 6th inning. And Odubel Herrera collects 2 knocks tonight as he continues to stay hot. So you see, of course he's, deer in the headlights out there. But this is much better than that feeling. What he be giving you. And Garrett Stubbs, only one hit was a big one. The 3-run home run to right field in Utley's corner. That was just huge. So Garrett Stud. So huge, absolutely great. And one thing I don't really understand now, I'm really glad we got to see him play tonight, but JT Rizzo hits a solo home run the night before, and George Girardi gives him the night off. I don't understand his decision making, and the next thing I'm about to talk about makes 0 sense, is Bryson Stott. Oh my goodness gracious, gets another start. Stop starting him at short. I'm going to say it countless times, as many as I have to. Stop playing Bryson Stott at short. I don't understand. The only time we really should be seeing him, first of all, he should be sent down. It goes without saying. Of course, it was brought up because of the injury to Didi Gregorius. Am I right? It's been much more than 10 games, hasn't it? I've never seen a guy milk out all these injuries. It's just ridiculous. He's just sitting there on the bench right there. As you're talking about Bryson Stott, what is he giving you? A 114 average. How in the world can you put in a guy 114 hitter with a 302 OPS when you have Johan Camargo hitting 260 with a 694 OPS? Worlds better. And honestly, Johan Camargo isn't even that great. I love his defense. You can't really make the argument at the defense. First of all, Bryson Stott with a terrible error in the bottom of the 1st inning. Routine ground ball to short, overthrows Reese, and it just missed going into the out of play. That was a really bad error, and it's kind of set a tone in the inning. Johan Camargo is an excellent defender, but going into tonight's game, hey, Bryson Stott, a pretty good defender. He made a mistake there. Of course, we all make mistakes. But why are you continuing to play this guy? He's doing nothing. What more do you need to see? This doesn't make any sense. It's just weird. It's just very, very weird. Of course, on an average day, Bryson Stott's still, a pretty good defender, but of course, he just made an error tonight. It's not the end of the world. It certainly set a tone, but it makes 0 sense. 0 cents. And Bailey Falter, 3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs. Only 2 of them were earned. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Honestly, it wasn't the worst. You go take a look at the line. It definitely doesn't look very good. But honestly, if you watch the game, it wasn't the worst. His fastball was sitting around 94, 95. He definitely was hitting the spots at times. Not only am I playing that all on Bryce, it's not that error, but the first hitter of the ballgame, Brandon Nimmo, grounds the ball to short routine play, and the play's not made. That certainly is going to rattle your pitcher. Nelson, 2 innings tonight. Getting charged with 3 earned. Pete Alonso definitely hurt him. Body gave us a pretty decent bottom of the 6th inning. Not bad at all. And Jerry's Finley and Brad Hand also gave us a pretty solid bottom of the 7th and bottom of the 8th. Zach Eflin on the mound Saturday night, 7:15, 1-3 with a 3.65 ERA going to Tom Walker, 2-0 with a 2.70 ERA. As I said, you got to hit him early. If you get to Tom Walker early, either he's terrible or either he's great. There's not much in between with Taijuan Walker, so we got to get to him early. We got to make sure his start is awful. There's not much gray with him. It's either black or white. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out social media, links in the description section at Phillies Hot Stove Media, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Media. Card text 267-225-392. Email me, phillieshatmedia@gmail.com. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go, Phillies.